also has here with him his son Lamar. Lamar is a 2-time Mr. Universe. Okay? So these are people who really know what it takes. And so I'm going to let him talk to you about how the principles I just talked about, how that fit into how he got to where he is. Okay? So let's one more time, let's give it up for Mr. Green!
Dr. B, faculty, staff for having me and Lamar over here. This is it's a blessing for us to come here and speak to you guys because at one point in our lives, we were sitting right there where you are. And we had people to come talk to us, and it was up to us to soak in that message as individuals, okay? But health and fitness was always the key in my life, always. Not only because it made me a great athlete, and successful throughout my career in high school, in college, and on to the pros. But it helped me in other areas in my life. With my study habits. I wasn't the one that was tired at night because I was doing all this sports stuff. I was the one that's energized to learn. And that energy of learning propelled me not only to play ball, but to get a college degree. Okay? If anybody was to ask me, what's my most single accomplishment of my life? I would say my family, and I would say my degree from college. I was the first one in my entire family to get a degree. And that means something to me. It meant something to me because I wanted to achieve that for my mother. I wanted to achieve that for my grandmother. I wanted to achieve that for my coaches. By the way, give the coaches another round of applause. I've been coached all my life. You guys are going to be coached all of your life. Not just in athletics, but in life. In life. Sports is just a small part of it, guys. Okay, sports is just a small part of it. It's just a vehicle to get where you want to go, okay? But in the great scheme of things, education, fitness, is always going to be the single most thing to me is education. I stress this to Lamar all his life, you know? He wasn't promised to be a professional football player. Nobody is. So you have to ground yourself in education. Ground yourself in being the best student. Not being the best performer on the athletic field, but being the best student in those classrooms I see around you. And that's where you're going to get your most joy from. You know, I was fortunate this past fall to coach a guy that's sitting amongst you guys right now. When he came to my team, by the way, his name is Nolan Gray. Stand up, Nolan. From a different program where they didn't work as hard. And I think he got a good shot when he got there. But he hung in there. He hung in there. He hung in there. And see, that's the kind of character Dr. B was talking about. He never, ever gave up. And at the end of the season, Nolan was awarded the most improved player on our team. Give him a hand. Dr. B talked about self-respect. Self-respect comes from you. It's the way you carry yourself. It's the way you treat others. You treat others just as well as you want to be treated. You know? There's no bullying. That's my friend. That's my friend. That's what it's supposed to be about. Helping one another. Helping one another bridge the gap to succeed in life. To succeed in life. Okay? Self-respect. That's what self-respect is. Carrying yourself in a manner you want to be judged in a positively direction. I just thank you guys because I love to talk to kids. I love to talk to kids on a variety of subjects. But education is always going to be my backbone and my key because it was so important for me to get it. It was so important for me to get it. It wasn't important for me to make it to the NFL. I didn't really care about that. That's just something that happened along the way. But when I got that degree in finance, nobody could ever take that away from me. That afforded me to go and coach college football. I used to coach at the University of Central Florida. Yes. Don't be nice in the house, right? That's right. And, I had an opportunity to coach in a few professional leagues. I coached in Frankfurt, Germany. That's where that off-on ball. Football is off-on ball. That football has taken me around the world. Around the world, guys. But it would never, ever happen if I wasn't sitting on this floor where you guys are sitting right now, soaking in information and applying that information to my daily life. Okay? If I could give you one message, stay fit. Lamar gonna talk to you more about fitness because he's the two-time junior Mr. Universe, not me. Okay? But stay grounded in what your education is going to take you. Education is going to take you so much farther.
They don't know what Mr. Universe is. I gotta tell them.
That's my message. I want to sign. People have been asking me for autographs. I will be here until I sign each and every one of them. Okay, guys? Right now, I want to bring up Lamar so he can talk about the fitness future. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so I'm a bodybuilder, so my goal is to get big. So put on muscle. Let me see your arms. You got muscle, man? You work out? No? What you got? Let me see. There we go. So that's what bodybuilding is. So basically, I was just like you kids when I first got started. When I was in years in middle school, I started collecting those magazines. When you go to the public aisle and you walk down, you see, those men on those fitness covers. When I saw that, there was something inside me that said, I want to do that. Whatever it takes, I want to get as big as that guy, and I'll work hard and whatever it takes to get there. So that's pretty much how I got started. And I used to play baseball. Well, I'm not do that anymore. But once I stopped playing, I had so much free time that I started going to the gym. Well, in a matter of 6 months, I put on 25 pounds of muscle, and my dad didn't recognize me when I came home. When I came home, they were some shock at how much bigger I was and the improvements I made. But it was, and from there, I decided I wanted to do bodybuilding. Well, after 3 years, it's kind of short in sport. I have 3 sponsorships. I'm a 2-time Mr. Universe champion, and when I did nationals, I placed 6th. So, and if you turn first, you turn pro, so I'm not that far. I'm 24 years old. And basically, I was able to climb that ladder that fast by working hard. But all that comes from is having proper diet, nutrition, and getting sleep. So I have a couple questions for you guys. Anyone here know what a good diet would be? Good healthy foods? Carrot, what do you got? Broccoli? Salad, good.
Shoot.
Yeah.
She said pizza. Lord, no.
And that's what bodybuilding is about. Bodybuilding is about eating healthy. It's like you can't eat Pop-Tarts, you can't eat Twinkies. Expect to be good. that was the eating aspect, and that's very important because the food that you eat, it controls everything. All right. You ever go to McDonald's and you have that bad burger, like, oh, my stomach hurts, or it kind of throws your day off? It's from the bad food that you eat. You have too much sugar. You eat too much sugar, your stomach hurts, man. Yeah. You all do. And the important part, about having a good diet is that you'll be able to feel better, you'll be able to perform better at school, you'll be able to perform better whenever you play sports. It's going to help you in every single aspect because the saying is true, is you are what you eat. So you need to, it's very important to eat healthy and have all the food like carrots and broccoli and chicken and all the stuff like that so you can become a better person in that aspect. Chicken? Now, does anyone here, who eats their vegetables and fruits? Good.
Yeah. No one? He just doesn't eat. I'm going to show him this video saying he eats them.
That's right.
Now, that's also very important too because you don't want to be eating candy or anything like that as well. You want to make sure that you're having fruit and vegetables are very important. Anyone else know the most important thing to have? I'll say one guess. What's the most important thing? No, water. Water is the most important thing. So, that is what your body is made of. That's what your body's made of, and that's when it runs off. What happens if you don't drink too much water? You pass out. Yes, you're dehydrated. So, and that's very important because whenever you're hydrated, your body is allowed to actually absorb all the food you're eating. When you're dehydrated, you can't consume the stuff you're eating, even if it's good or it's bad. So make sure you're drinking water, you're taking your vitamins, make sure you're eating your fruit and vegetables.
I know it.
So that's the diet and nutrition part. The fun part is exercise and actually being fit. Everyone here plays sports, right? Yeah. I saw you guys earlier. You guys were jumping through your cones and the ropes and jumping outside, and that's all good. Now, I want you guys to realize that if you're eating bad, it doesn't matter how you exercise because you need to eat healthy and have an important diet to be able to get everything you out whenever you do exercise, whenever you do play sports, or whenever you do have like a football game or a soccer game, whenever you have those big events, you notice that those days, you know, your mom or your dad is, hey, make sure you eat the sandwich here, make sure you do this, make sure you do that before you go do this, because they understand the importance of having food or doing the right things before you actually exercise. So, and exercise is the fun part. Everyone exercises. Everyone does. That's the easiest part. It's the funnest part. You play sports, you play basketball, but not everyone can eat correctly. And that's where you get most of your benefits from. And now, the last thing is just, the important thing is sleep. Sleep, you need to get at least 8 hours a night.
I don't know, last time I had 8 hours of sleep.
Me too.
And so I want you guys to realize that the three things that I kind of just briefly touched on, it goes in a pattern. Number one, even though I'm saying it for last, but it's the easiest part, is sleep, okay? Because I don't care how much you eat and how much you work out, if you don't get sleep, you're putting all that to waste. You need to properly rest, just like before night when you have a test or a big exam or something you have to do, or a big event coming up, you're always making sure you're getting that sleep, having your breakfast when you get started, so that's number one. Number 2 is the eating. As long as you're eating and sleeping, you should be able to get some sort of results from what you're doing in your exercise. And then lastly is, like I said, exercise. So you follow those 3 things: sleep, diet, nutrition, and exercise. Follow in that order, and it's guaranteed to work. But you cannot do it backwards. You cannot exercise all you want and eat crap and sleep 3 hours a night. It just won't happen that way. So, that's pretty much it, guys.
This is something that I do when I speak to kids. I want Coach to give me 10 kids who have questions to ask me. And I want to answer those questions because I always sit in a room and have questions for people that they never give me an opportunity to ask those questions. So right now, I'm going to give 10 of you guys an opportunity to ask me the question that you guys want.
Remember, it's going to be someone saying quietly.
How much running do you do?
How much running do I do now? Not very much. I had 11 knee surgery, so I don't do very much running. But during my athletic days, I used to run every single day. Yes. Football is not my favorite. Actually, I grew up loving baseball. I was just happened to be more athletically better in football than baseball.
Do you want a copy of this?
Yeah, sure.
How do I send it?
My favorite color is blue.
What is your shoe size?
What's your shoe
My
size?
shoe size is a 16.
I love the questions.
I've been retired. My last year playing was in 1999. I played for the Jets in 1999. What did I want to be when I grew up? That's a great question. Well, the first thing I wanted to do was graduate from college because nobody in my family did. And another thing I wanted to do was do something in my life that nobody else has ever done. Have anybody in this room have ever been the first to do something? Well, I have the blessed fortune to be the first person at my college to be drafted in the first round. First person in my whole college and my college. My favorite food is Southern comfort food. Which is not healthy food. How many years did I play in the NFL? I was blessed to play 10 years in the National Football League.
Woohoo!
How fast did I used to run? I'm an old man now. I used to run a 4.7 40-yard dash when I was 274 pounds. That was very funny to ask me this.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm not a football player, but I'm one good coach. Don't you think so?